Hello, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Line Podcast. My name is Elliott, and I am joined here today with the Logan Phillips. Logan, it's good to have you back on the podcast.
Glad to be back, Elliott.
You got to give us a little bit of an update. It's been months since we've heard about you, so...
Almost exactly 9.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's been that long.
Well, what day is today? Yeah, 9 months yesterday, right?
I'm a terrible host.
May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 10 months.
The newest staff member...
we just started month 10 yesterday.
It took me 9 months to get back to the newest staff member. That's terrible.
That's right. You're a busy man.
Well, how have you been in these last 9 months? Give us an update.
Oh, man. Things have been good. Man, over the past 9 months, what has happened? So I started in May. My oldest turned 3. My youngest is about to turn 2. And then we have got another one cooking since the last time we talked.
Man.
So it's been good. Yep. My wife is, I think, 17 weeks pregnant now. So she's out of the first trimester, which means the puking has slowed down.
Ugh.
And she can eat again. So things are good. We're settled. Earlier today, we're finally getting I got a dentist now, and
Let's
our
go.
doctor, and the girls are going to the dentist on Friday, which is weird because they're 3 and almost 2, but I guess that's something you got to do. So
yeah.
We're getting real adulty, in our new home that is Rockford. So
Let's go.
Yep.
Dentist is a big deal. Barber's a big deal too, but you cut your own hair, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Fun
nice.
fact about Logan
I do.
Phillips.
Ever since COVID. Actually, that's not true. Whenever COVID happened, a coworker I had at the time, she cut my hair. And then whenever we moved, or whenever we learned that we were moving, I was like, hey, you're not going to be able to cut my hair anymore. I better learn how to do it. And so actually, for a while, my wife did it, kind of. And then she hated it. It made her anxious because she was afraid I was going to get mad at her, which I'm not that kind of guy. Then I just started doing it myself. So I cut my own hair.
Oh, here's another thing. Tell the people about your grocery store escapades. How you finally found your store.
Well, I don't know that I have. I don't know that I have. The biggest bummer about moving is you have all your things, right? You got your doctor, you got your dentist.
Right.
You've got your grocery store. And for me, I had my grocery store that I could go in and out of. I knew where everything was. The layout made sense. And I lost that. I missed my Hannaford. And so I've been on a journey of trying to find a new grocery store. For a while, we live really close to Target and Schnucks. And so I've just been going to Schnucks. And I would find myself physically getting hot when I was in Schnucks because it's I don't understand the layout. I can't find anything I'm looking for, all that. And so I took to the internet. A lot of people suggested Meijer, which I'm learning is just a mix between Target and Walmart.
Yes.
Except it's not quite as nice as Target, but a little bit nicer than Walmart.
Yeah, and they have produce you can kind of trust.
And a really weirdly big Carhartt section of clothing.
Which is fire,
yeah,
by the way, if you're ever looking for something.
Yep. But, so, we're still working through Meijer. I am not set on it yet.
Okay.
But
you like it better than the other options.
I will never go back to Schnucks unless I absolutely have to. And I just need a pop or something.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's a crazy world we live in here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the highlight of my dadness.
Yeah, adulting. That's the highlight of adulting, I feel like.
I guess that's something only millennials say, adulting. Gen
maybe.
Z get mad at us for saying adulting.
Do they?
Allegedly.
Well, you're going to have to hold that one, Gen Z, because I like saying adulting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you can't make me not adult.
So, other exciting news, State Line just turned 5. Mm-hmm. So, that's crazy. It's insane that I've been here for 4 years. You've been here for not that, but it's crazy to me that we're such a young church, and regardless of whatever church you come from, 5 years for a church is young. That's a baby
for sure.
church.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know about you, but I've been hearing a lot of really good feedback from that actual service. A lot of people really enjoyed that service, and I was thinking back to my favorite memories, just in some of the things that I really cherish and value, and just to be able to see the congregation really just look back and reflect and have so much joy in the service, and see so much laughter and even some tears at sometimes. It was just cool to be able to experience that, especially someone who's been here for like 4 of the 5 years.
Sure.
So there's just been so much growth and so much happening, and so many different things changed, whether I think it was good or not. Like, but to see like the state line community just rally around, the state line, like it's just been amazing. So happy birthday, State Line. It was so cool to just kind of be a part of that service and see some stuff happen. Fun fact, if you didn't know where I was that whole day, I was in the drum cage. That's where I was. So that's sometimes I'm in there. If you didn't know that, I know people are
about once every 4 weeks.
About once every 4 weeks, I'm in there. So people think I'm a mystery for some reason. I don't know why, but that's where I was. I was in the drum cage,
which is weird now because there's not a camera, so you don't ever get any insight if you're watching online into the drum cage. So it's just you hear all this rhythm happening with no context to where it's coming from,
and the drums aren't on stage anymore either. So
right.
Yeah, right. That's a whole lot. So what did you think about the service?
Yeah, so anniversaries are cool. For me, it was different because I don't have any context.
Yeah, and
so the church doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't feel new because everything that we've had since I've been here.
Right.
And so the 5-year anniversary was interesting to me because to see how everything that's happened throughout the history of State Line, like I have a reference point as to like where I was, and it was interesting because it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
like hearing Greg talk about when the grill caught on fire at the first Free Family Flicks, which I think was like 2017 or something like that, or 2018. Like that was the year Kendall was born,
right?
And she's only 3, so like when you look at it in like reality, it doesn't feel that long, but it's interesting because I just haven't been here. So that's been fun. Another thing that I thought was cool about the service is I felt like we walked a fine line of, in a good way, of like churches can tend to, whenever you like have celebrations like that, to be like, look at us.
Yeah.
Look at how awesome we are.
Right.
Versus look at what God has done through our church and look how good God has been.
Yeah.
I feel like we walked a fine line of doing both well.
Yes.
And not making it too much about like, I don't know how you can make something too much about God, but you get what I mean. Like we didn't make it too much about us and how like great we are as a church versus how great God has been. I thought that was cool. And then probably my favorite thing, which I don't know that you asked me that, but you're going to find out now.
I think I did.
My favorite thing about the service was probably seeing how well people engage with the music we chose.
Yeah.
It's really easy for me as a worship leader to like be hype on all the new and upcoming stuff and like kind of forget about like the tried and true like of what stood the test of time, which 5 years, right? Like for example, Lion and the Lamb, people were losing their marbles to that song. And the first time I led that song, I was a senior in college, which would have been 2014, 2015, around that,
somewhere around there. Yeah.
So like, and it's true that people enjoy what they know, and so like a lot of people knew those songs because obviously they were the songs that we've played over the past 5 years, and so it was interesting to see people like engage in a familiar way.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in church culture, that like opening guitar riff is as famous as like the Journey solo, like "Don't Stop Believing."
Right.
Like everybody knows.
Right. It's iconic.
We're about to get crazy in here when you hear that opening guitar riff to "Lion and the Lamb."
True.
So that is one of those iconic. But it was cool how like I didn't know all those songs were like our top 5 played songs.
I could have guessed probably 3 of them.
I think I maybe could have guessed 1 or 2, but I was like, man, these. I didn't realize we sang these this many times, but it showed in the response. Like those are State Line's jams, so that was cool. I think my favorite part was, I mean, this is kind of low hanging fruit, but the $50K giveaway, man, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was what I knew was going to happen, and it was still wild. I was like, this is crazy, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I hyped myself up a little bit to where, like, the live reactions were a little bit underwhelming to me. But that's just because, like, I don't know what I expected. They were great. I don't know. It was great.
You were trying to react for people. You didn't even give people a chance to react.
I was, like, mustering up a tear in real time. Like, come on, this is amazing. But what was interesting about the $50K giveaway was that was like, I mean, I've had a lot of these moments over the past 9 months, but like that was really a moment. That wasn't like little look behind the curtain here. That wasn't planned super far in advance.
No,
it was like week of decision, and being behind the scenes and knowing that was happening and seeing how that was all being planned, it was a really cool moment for me to be like, I felt a really strong sense of pride to like be associated with this church and be a part of this church, because it's just like, no, this is the right thing to do. This is what we're going to do, and we're honored and like proud to be able to do this. And it like, even in the meeting where it was decided, it like pumped me up. I was like, guys, this is like super cool right now. I'm so happy I get to work here, which is cool.
I'm surprised that, I'm being silly here, obviously, but I'm surprised that the congregation wasn't like, man, that's it. Because like generosity has become so normal for us, though. Yeah. Really, seriously, like our congregation, it's unbelievable. They've gone above and beyond time after. I'm talking about y'all out there, okay? This is. I need you to sit and listen about you for just 1 second, okay? Hold on. You guys have gone so above and beyond that. I am constantly blown away at the generosity, and it is a no-brainer that that's one of our 5 value statements, that generosity is normal. It's just something that you guys just do so well, and you champion so well. And
it's contagious. Like, if I'm cards on the table talking about it, like whenever we moved here, I was like, oh yeah, State Line's super generous. But like, even the way that my wife and I are living our lives now, just being associated with this community, we're way... Not that we weren't. I mean, we were, but we're way more generous now with like our time and resources and money than we were 10 months ago, which is cool.
I find myself like, since I started working here, I find myself just giving stuff away. And people look at me like, you're going to give that away? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You just gave. I'm like, no, I know. And I didn't really think about it until the other day when I had an encounter with someone about something that I had given them. And I was like, that isn't normal, huh? But it's normal here,
right?
And so it just feels like that's the right next step. That's what I do. That's what I'm supposed to do,
right?
So
way to go, gang!
Way to go, team! Like, you guys rock. And that doesn't mean all the other value statements are like, No, the other value statements, we live into those too. Right. But it's just crazy. That just feels like one that just kind of sticks out. I don't know why.
Because everybody gets weird about money.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's just like a weird taboo kind of thing.
I guess that's true.
Way to go.
Yeah. You guys rock. But yeah, I was hyped about that whole service. Worship was fire. The message was fire. The giveaway was super cool. All that was awesome. And speaking of worship, this week, Friday. What do we got? Tell the people.
Yeah, so I said this when I did 411 a couple weeks ago, but one of the things that we've heard a lot since my time on staff is like, hey, are we going to do a worship night? We did these pre-COVID. Yeah. And like, is that something that we're going to do again? They were really good, really exciting, blah, 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 blah. So what I tried to do was find a time early in the new year, in the dead of winter, where like people might need a little pick-me-up. So like, I feel like enough time has passed now to where it's like, oh, I'm going to, whatever our New Year's resolution is, has either stopped happening at this point,
100%.
Or you're enough into it now where it's feeling a little bit of a drag. Like if you're going to the gym 6 days a week, if you're 6 weeks into that, it's a drag by now.
Right.
So just to try to find a time where people can come and engage and maybe recharge their battery, because if they're like me, the winter's rough around this time because it's like the days are short and it's cloudy and it's snow and it's cold and it's
seasonal
windy.
Depression is real.
Yeah, very
all that
real.
Stuff.
But a time where we can gather and kind of hopefully to collectively experience the joy of the Lord.
Yeah.
And if it is at the beginning of the year, like if we haven't done that, or if we've drifted off of that, recentering ourselves on God early on in the year so that we can, stay on the path that He has for us and that we're trying to be on. So we're excited. I mean, we've got some people coming in from out of town so that our teams who are always serving can be served for once, which is something I'm really excited about. It's going to be good. Really hope people come.
Yeah. So. Give us the details. What time we're at.
It's going to be here at the church in the auditorium Friday, February 4th.
Let's go.
Depending on when you're listening to this, you may have missed it, but hopefully you won't.
You ain't going to miss it.
6 o'clock to 7-ish. So it's not scheduled for like right at an hour. If I'm being exact, I think it's like 65 5.5 minutes is what it's like.
You left some room for the spirit to work.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to be less than 75, probably a little bit more than 60. But childcare is provided for birth through kindergarten.
Yep.
So part of the logic behind that was if you've got grade school kids, we want to encourage people to worship as a family. And so, like, I think it's really important for kids to see their parents engaging in worship as much as it is for while kids ministry is very appropriate, there are times where it's appropriate for families to be together. And we felt like this was one of those times.
Absolutely.
So
I'm excited for it. It'll be cool. I'm going to be snapping some pictures.
Let's go.
Putting some stuff on social media. So stay tuned. We're excited for you to be there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Behind the Line, and we will see you next time. See you later.
See ya.